Welcome to Sermons on the Side. I'm Brad.
And I'm Richard.
And life can move pretty fast, so we're here to slow down, dig deep, and find the story hidden in everyday moments.
With years spent in ministry, friendship, and navigating real life together, we're all about blending humor, honesty, and faith into conversations that meet you right where you are.
So whether you're brand new or you're back for more, we are so glad you are here.
So relax, listen in, and let's discover meaning together.
In the ordinary, the messy, and everything in between.
Sermons on the Side, finding meaning in the everyday.
And so we got set up for that. My kidney actually come down from New Jersey. So
There you go.
I call myself Jersey Mike now.
Wait, we got to sit with that for a second.
Let me get it Mike's
Ladies
way.
and gentlemen. That's
Jersey
so
Mike.
good.
Oh.
Now I'm hungry for some.
Dog.
Man, I'm
From your
telling you.
mouth to God's ears, I was like, I might pick up a sub on the way home. That's right, folks. It's another Thursday. It's another episode. We have another special guest. I'm sitting across the table from none other than Mr. Richard Moore. How are you, sir?
Doing great. And do you know why I'm doing great?
I don't know. I need to know.
Because of the aforementioned special guest.
That's right. We are in the presence of one Mr. Mike Gunter.
Woo!
What's up, y'all?
The crowd
insert
goes
crowd
wild.
noise.
Yeah.
Clap, 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 clap.
Man, the energy that y'all have right out of the gate is a real thing.
Dude, we were talking normal and we are like just catching up or whatever. Are you ready to turn the episode on? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
I heard one deep breath, and then it
We
took
were
off.
oxygen left the room. Dude, I must say, that is the coolest hat I've ever seen. I mean, that's the corduroy, the flat bill, it's the Gatorade
Gatorade.
throwback logo. There's so much vibes happening to my
Uh-huh.
right and to Richard's left.
But
I'm
I
a
don't
hat guy,
think-
man.
I don't think you can see on this, on the right side of his
Okay.
cap.
The Stranger
Stranger
Things
Things.
logo.
Yes.
We have a whole episode about that.
We do.
Go check that out, ladies
Come
and gentlemen. Anyways, hey, speaking of, I don't know, we were not speaking of that. Just
No,
I was
we're
just
about
talking
to.
about, yeah, we are. I'm melting. Can anybody else attest? It's so hot outside. 90
It's
plus.
Africa hot.
Yeah,
in Georgia.
it's brutal. Mike,
I'm loving it, man.
you're
This is,
And why would you?
it's true. Yes, this is your Super Bowl.
I don't wish it on anybody,
Yeah,
but I'm in the HVAC business, so we need some to break down occasionally,
I hear you.
here and there to keep our people working.
I hear you.
So we're there to help when it happens.
I did not intend for that to be
Right,
an alley
that-
oop, but here we
You
are.
teed it up,
I
did
said
you
it's
not?
hot, and his eyes lit up. He was like, "Yes, sir, it is."
You're
Thanks
so good
for
at this,
going.
man. There you go.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a second.
Indeed.
Folks, it's so good to thank you so much for joining us. I know it's just the second week of July and that summer is flying by, but we are excited. We're excited to have another guest. We're excited about episode number 75. That feels
Did you realize, Mike, that you are episode number 75?
I didn't. That's pretty cool.
That's a
Pretty
big
cool.
number.
Yeah,
I mean,
milestone,
Yeah,
right?
there's banners. There's like, there's a lot of people waiting to get on the guest list for this episode. And
You cut in front of all of them.
I'm honored to be here, y'all. Thanks for having me.
well, listen, man. Seriously, I'm excited to get to know a little bit more about your story. Your connection, at least in how you have entered into this room tonight, is by way of Richard. So, Richard, tell us Tell us about Mike.
Well, I met Mike several years ago. It was actually 2021, I believe. So we're talking 4.5 years.
Yep.
And so did I do the math right?
You
See, I
didn't.
never do.
It's why you don't do it in public.
5.5. See,
I
why
agreed
don't
with you
know
too,
this?
which is a little more. That makes it worse.
Hey, I don't do
help us.
math unless I have a calculator or an Excel document. You know what I'm saying?
And this is when I asked, "Hey, Brad, can we edit that out?" And this is when he says,
Nope.
"Yeah." So it was 2021 when I met Mike, and I was serving as a chaplain at the company that Mike runs. It's Energy Savers HVAC company here in Columbus, Georgia. They are your go-to people. You did not ask us to plug it, but for
Amen.
real. And I got to tell you, I don't think I've ever told you this, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm the new guy. I don't know anybody. These people are wonderful at Energy Savers. The culture's really healthy, and they're really cool to the new chaplain. Everybody's being nice to me, but I had not yet met Mike. And so I think it might have been my second visit or third visit before I actually crossed paths and got to meet Mike. But on the first time I'm walking through the building, I see his name. This is Mike Gunter. Okay, he's not in his office. And I think I leave one of my cards on his desk. And then he's got this whiteboard right next to his desk. It's kind of got different numbers and different goals or tasks.
Okay.
A little to-do section. And I glanced up at it. And, of course, I didn't understand any of it, because it's all about your business and metrics.
It was basic
and
arithmetic. This is some
and
really
he used
difficult
good grammar. It didn't make any sense to me. So I'm looking at it, and I see on the to-do list, and this is my hand to God. It said, text pastor and tell him he's awesome.
Oh,
And I thought,
dude.
I've got to meet this guy.
Man, I don't even remember that.
I'm telling you, man.
We must know. Did you ever text your pastor?
He just, he's reminding himself to send an encouraging word to the pastor
That's
or one
awesome.
of the pastors at his church. How about that?
That's super cool.
So anyway, I said, I need to meet this guy. So we were able to connect during my visits there, and it's just we instantly started getting along and having great conversations. And hey, can I ask, was it just me, or do people ever tell you look like Aaron Rodgers, the
Man,
quarterback?
there's a gene out there that I share with a lot of people. And there's a guy named Adam Rose on Instagram. He wears a blue cardigan.
I like that guy. He's hilarious. Comedy stuff. He's
Yeah, I look like him. There used to be a guy on AT&T commercials that I look like. Aaron Rodgers, Adam Sandler.
Wow. You know what? And I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Every
can,
time
right?
he says a new name, I'm like, you know what? Let me just tilt my head a little bit. I see it. I see it.
Yeah, so I get that all the time. Also, I was thinking as you were mentioning when we first met, somebody's going to hear this and give me grief about not being in the office 2 or 3 times before I saw you.
He was in another part of the building.
That's right.
He was in a meeting.
Yeah, he was
Come on.
installing HVACs, folks. Come on.
I do
Ride-alongs
get
with
the
his
Aaron
team.
Rodgers thing all the time, though.
Gotcha.
Have you ever signed?
I'm going to miss that when he retires.
Right.
I guess he is retired now, or maybe. I'm
he's
not
coming
really
back for
sure.
one more.
One more year.
One
Yeah.
more. Okay.
Yep. So your question was?
I was going to say, have you ever signed for him? Like a little kid come up to you, you sign for me, sir?
No, I did have one guy at First Watch one time. Amber and I, my wife, were getting breakfast, and you can tell he was really taken aback because he thought legitimately I was Aaron Rodgers. For real. And so that was as close as I've come to it.
Because of course, Aaron Rodgers would dine at First Watch in Columbus, Georgia. When was this? Probably during the season.
Yeah, it probably
The
was.
night before a Thursday night game in Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly.
No shot.
Oh my goodness! But anyway, I've loved staying connected with Mike, and of course I see pictures and stuff on Facebook from the family. But anyway, really glad that you could be with us here. We're excited about getting to know you a little bit, but also telling your story, especially some of the wild stuff you've been through in the recent years.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what, when Richard told me, he was like, hey, man, I'd love to get Mike on the show, and told me just like bullet point style. I would love to just dive straight into this because I think there's a lot of people, myself at the top of the list, that are going to be blessed by your
thought
story.
about that. Yeah. I
And
thought
so-
about you.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you. I appreciate
getting ready
it.
for this. Yeah. And let me just say, Richard, it's been a pleasure to know you, man. And these 4.5 or 6.5,
Six,
wherever we
pick
landed
a number.
on the math there. But corporate chaplains, man, is incredible.
Come on.
I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes in business, you make a change, and you're like, how do we survive without this? And a lot of times, it's like you make a change in processes, or you add somebody to a different role, and it just kind of changes everything. And corporate chaplains is that, So it's like how do you have a good business and not have a corporate chaplain? You know,
Gosh, man, thank you.
It's just an incredible organization. You were awesome to us in your time at Energy Savers, and the illustrious Pastor Johnny now.
Johnny Ellison.
He Chat Valley Church.
Yeah, that's
Shout
right.
out to them.
That's an awesome church and awesome chaplain.
Yes, he's a tremendous guy. But yes,
Come on.
I've
That's
loved it,
awesome,
man.
man. Well, let's dive straight in if you're good with it, Mike. I want to
Yeah.
know a little bit about your growing up years in Columbus, out of Columbus. Where was it? What was your faith journey? Your coming to
Yeah.
know the Lord story. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, Mike Gunter. I say it like it's got two N's in it, but it's Gunter.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But I'm born and raised here in Columbus.
There you go.
36 years old, so I've been here my whole life. Went to college here at Columbus State, so I didn't leave off for college like a lot of people do. A lot of that had to do with my wife.
Come on.
But I met her when we were 10 in the sixth
What?
grade.
Sixth grade.
Yeah, so
Bro.
she didn't start dating me, give me a chance until we were in the 10th grade, but
You had to grow that illustrious beard first.
I
Is
was
that what it
nowhere
was?
close at that point, man. Never thought I'd see one at that point. But yeah, so I'll get into, I guess, more of my family here, but yeah, born and raised Columbus, Georgia. Been married now. This month will be 14 years. We've got 3 kids. We've got 2 boys and a girl. So we spend a lot of time on the baseball field, dance recitals. Life is busy, but life is good. You know, growing up, I've gave my life to the Lord when I was a kid. I was one of those who I grew up in church, and a lot of times I think a lot of people think that's probably not the most exciting testimony, but it's really a great one to have.
Yes. Amen.
And that's none of my doing. That's my mom kept me in church mainly. My dad was in church early in my life, and then he kind of fell away. But thankfully, my mom and I had some strong Christian women in my life. My great grandmother.
Go ahead.
If I could add anybody to the Hall of Faith, it would be her.
Amen. Come on. That's a great line.
Can't change it or add to it or take from it. But if I had a little bit of ink to add, it would be to add her to it. So a lot of the men in my life were not involved in church or following after Jesus, and a lot of that's changed now. Praise the Lord. But
Amen.
my dad gave his life back to the Lord just in the last 6 or 7 years, and his life's totally changed. And but it's the Lord's been good to me. I teach Sunday school at North Highland Church, and I've been doing that for about 12 years now.
Seriously.
So somebody allowed me to start teaching adults when I was like 24, which I should not have probably been doing. But a lot of times you go feel the need, right? Whatever the need is, there you go fill it, right? Man, it's just been a huge blessing to me to be able to do that. It's some of the closest friendships I have is from that group of people. And we attend North Highland Church and have since I was 15. My wife and her family has been going there since the early 90s.
Wow.
So they've all been there over 30 years. Just a great church, great church community. So we're super plugged in there and involved. So
That's outstanding.
But yeah.
So you guys, you and your wife met at school or
we did.
Okay.
So we met in math class, and
Really?
yeah, this is before it was even algebra or anything. It was just math.
Great math.
Math 1, math 2.
No letters had been added yet when we met.
They lost me. If they had not lost me before, that's when math lost me.
Yeah.
Started with all that nonsense.
Yeah, so we met way back then, and which has kind of been a cool part of our story.
Yeah.
We've been together longer than we haven't, and I'm 36. So I've been blessed to, she's really the only girl I've ever pursued. I hadn't planned to go on this route in this podcast, but I don't know. The Lord's really had a unique plan for me in that way, and that but she's always been the only one. Awesome.
Dude,
pretty cool.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Wow, I was wishing that she could have been with us, but apparently they're on a beach trip.
She's down at the beach, man.
You'll be joining them shortly.
Loving it. Yes.
Yeah,
I will.
But
I
hey,
will.
shout out to Amber and
Yes.
her awesomeness. That is great. Got to love it. So one more question before we kind of get into more of the recent developments in your life. How was it that you got into the HVAC business?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to go this route. So, interesting story. When I was 16, I was working for an organization that is no longer Video Warehouse. And
did that go the way of Blockbuster? Is that
movie gallery? One of them.
So I was working at Video Warehouse when I was 16, and they had a. This is a rough part of the story. I ended up getting fired from Video Warehouse, which is hard to do.
Okay.
You had to put in some,
believe it or not,
some work for that one.
But what had happened was, they had a strict no phones policy. They were way before their time on that, by the way. So this was in 06.
They had it figured out.
Yeah.
This was back when it was a bag phone. You can't bring in your whole daggone.
Well, and this is where I go on this story, is that I never brought my phone in a single time the whole time I worked there. One day I forgot. I had a Nextel. Okay, so I couldn't text anybody. I had nothing to hide.
It's a brick in your pocket.
It was literally, I couldn't text. I could call you. Right. I could chirp you if I needed you. So the Nextel chirp.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the beep beep. It's like a walkie-talkie. It felt like you're on.
I do remember that.
It felt like you're on a job site the whole day.
We're gonna have to give him 10 seconds. He's plugging his nose.
Y'all lost me. Oh man. Gosh, those are we're talking about a video store.
So the chirp.
Yes. So I think my girlfriend at the time might have called the phone or something. I can't remember who called. But the phone went off in my pocket and I was like, oh, I forgot it was in here. And they were like, hey, it doesn't matter. You got to go. Sent me home and I thought, I'll be back, tomorrow. This is, we didn't have a strong workforce there at the time. And I thought, man, they can't let me go.
They can't spare
this place will fall if I leave. And I was partly right on that, by the way.
I ain't never seen a Video Warehouse ever since then,
So, once there's actually a CVS there now where it's actually not too far from here where it was at.
We remember it well.
The Lord had to deal with me because I was prideful in that CVS took their spot for a while. Y'all can cut that out if you need to. But shortly after that, I'm at so in dealing with all that, before I got the final word of whether or not I was still a valued employee there or not, they my father-in-law, not at the time, but would be at some point, he said, man, we need some help back in our warehouse. Will you consider coming to work there? And so he said, what you'd be doing is loading up trucks and getting everything ready for the jobs the next day, like supporting our install crews so they can go out and if you get everything ready for them, their day isn't as hard the next day. And they're dealing with all that tough heat that we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
So we try to make it as easy as we can for those guys to have a good day and not throw them in the wood pile by not being prepared with all the materials and things of that nature. So he put a lot of emphasis on that. So that's how I started there. And I learned pretty quickly and noticed that Bill had, my father-in-law, he's got 3 daughters. Yeah. And I did not foresee any of them really getting into the attics. And so shortly after being there, I'm like, you know what, I might need to hang around and see if I can make a career here or something like that. And my father-in-law and my grandfather-in-law, so this is Bill Bell and Wayne Bell, they are both 2 of the greatest guys I could have ever asked to learn business from.
Wow.
vision for the company was that we're going to go out and do well, and we're going to treat our people well, and we're going to be a blessing because we've been blessed, right? So I kind of came up in this company that did a lot of things in the community that I hadn't seen before, and tithe to the church from the company, things like that. You know, all that. And I heard of people doing that personally, but not commercially, if that's what you want to call it.
Sure.
You know, and so the culture was great. And I was just like, man, I plan to be a fireman. And I just thought I need to hang out here. And there's something, it didn't have to be HVAC. It could have been something else, but I just love working with the people there.
Wow.
Especially my father-in-law and grandfather-in-law. And, you know, there was one day when Wayne, I was probably about 19 or 20 at the time, and he pulled me to the side. This had been my wife's granddad. And he said, hey, I want to tell you about a talk I had with Bill earlier. And so I said, okay, cool. And so he said, I asked Bill what his plan for you was going forward in the next couple of years. And he said, well, I don't know if he and Amber are going to get married and that sort of thing. And Wayne said, well, you got to keep Mike either way. It doesn't matter if they get married or not. And I just kind of thought, all right, I'm locked in.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and he was one of those guys that if you got his approval, you just kind of, I think every guy has had probably several men like that in their life where you want that person to approve of you, especially you want it to be a godly person. And he was that guy. My father-in-law was that guy. And you know, so I was like 10 foot tall, you know, and I'm like, man, I'll go to die for this company at this point. You know, and so I stayed on and installed during my college years some, and got into sales, and then became the general manager. Bill retired. Wayne passed away in 2024. And so, but a lot of what we do today and the culture that we have stems from what those two guys did during their time there. And I've just kind of been a benefactor from that, you know, and try to further the cause. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started in it, for sure.
Man, that is such an awesome story.
Love that, bro.
My wife and I, we just bought a new house we moved into, and the AC units in the crawl space. I've never owned a house that has crawl space, you know, and I've been in and out of the crawl space and fixing you know, this, that, and the other. And every time I go down there, I realize I have no clue what I'm doing down there. And so for people that live in the attics and the crawl spaces and the forgotten parts of homes, man, you guys are just, y'all are the best.
The elements, man, the elements can be tough sometimes. For sure.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now let's transition. Tell us a little bit about this sort of crisis health journey that took place in your life just a couple of months ago. I know, a couple years ago. Thank you.
Yes.
I know very little about it, but I am on pins and needles to learn about it.
I've talked about it enough. You may be the only person in Columbus that hadn't heard the story at this point.
You're not afraid of sharing your story.
No, definitely. Yeah, so when I was 26, we had a 1-year-old at the time, my oldest boy, and I was just going to set up life insurance. You know, Bill was telling me at the office one day, I think I had life insurance through the company, and he was like, hey, you need to beef that up some. He's kind of mentoring me on these things, right? And trying to be responsible, and hey, you've got a wife and a kid now. Let's go ahead and get those things done. And so he's just kind of schooling me up on that. And I went to a friend of ours to get that all set up. Never imagined in a million years that anything would be flagged as irregular or anything like that. But just went and took the routine labs like you normally would. And Jeff, a friend of ours who was kind of seeing to that for us, he called me back a few days later, and he said, hey, man, you need to go see a doctor potentially. He said, your creatinine's a little high, which means your kidney function could be down some. He said, it could be something you drink, something you eat. He's like, I see it all the time. Kidney levels, liver levels, you know, things of that nature. And you go retest, and a lot of times it's fine. So that's kind of what I thought would happen. And but I went to the doctor, ran some more labs, several labs, And she was like, you need to get a biopsy. I'm concerned at your kidney function here. Wow. And she said, it looks like your kidneys are functioning at about 30%. And I'm like, whoa, I'm taken aback, and I'm like, well, I haven't felt any differently. I feel great. So I had a biopsy done, and I had what's called IgA nephropathy, which is just a buildup of an antibody. It's an autoimmune issue, buildup of an antibody in your kidneys that causes them not to filter as well. And over time, it really diminishes the function of them, right? So was diagnosed with that. And so that was really the first time in my life where I think I'd ever experienced any anxiety. You guys probably seem to be wired a little bit the same way, but I just don't worry about a lot of things. And at that point, I don't think I had any reason to. And life has a way of kind of giving you the opportunity, though.
Right? Yeah. Come on.
And so, immediately from there, once I kind of got the diagnosis, she kind of gave me the outlook and said, well, look, this isn't something that normally kills you. She said, and it can. She said, but I a lot of times we're diagnosing much worse things in these biopsies. And she talked to me about dialysis, and a lot of patients that get this end up going on dialysis and kind of what that looks like. And she encouraged me to continue to live an active lifestyle, and basically said there's nothing, though, that we can do. There's really no treatment for it or anything like that.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I go home with that, and, I'm kind of struggling mentally in that, I know where I'm going if I die, but now I'm at this stage of life where, Lord, you've given me these responsibilities that my wife, my kid, would go on to become 3 kids. And, I felt like I needed to be here to steward that forward. Absolutely. Right? And I think that's a good, right thing that dads feel.
Amen.
Right? And so I was really struggling with that. I don't really know how to put it, but like, man, my feelings were hurt over the potential of not being there for my wife and my kid, or my soon-to-be kids, right? Wow. And I remember one day I was taking a run by the neighborhood. We were living over by Clubview Elementary, and I was running down the road. And this is one of the few times in life where I feel like I've always thought about the Holy Spirit being a gentleman. And at this point, I felt like he just kind of come into my mind and threw out all the negative thoughts I had, just wiped them out. I'd never really felt that before. I was jogging, and I was praying, and I was kind of worried, and I felt the Lord tell me, I didn't do this to hurt you. I didn't allow this to happen to hurt you. Like, this is going to be a blessing. You're going to be a blessing to other people. Dude. And man, I had to hold on to that for a long time. And I still drive by that spot from time to time. Yeah. And it made me think about, we were, I may get emotional here.
Sorry, brother.
We were just going through in Sunday school, we were talking about the different covenants in the Bible. Yeah. And where a lot of times, Abraham or, something like that, he would build an altar at a place where God made a promise to him.
Yes.
And when I drive by that spot, sometimes I've driven by there sometimes when I was in a rough spot, and I just happened to be driving by there, and it was like a reminder that the Lord said, hey, don't forget, I told you, this is what I told you was going to happen. And not that I knew exactly what that was going to look like, but man, it's one of those moments where I've been in a Pentecostal church all my life. So I believe in the Lord speaking directly to his people. And, but I don't claim to hear that every day. And that's one of those moments where I felt the Lord just come in, and it was almost like flip the table over and said, like, listen, like, you're allowing these other things to drown out what I'm trying to tell you and what I'm trying to do. And, I know we all have those things in our life that try to do that, but
gosh, how kind of God, and that He just took over, man, and that is a sacred spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Even how
man.
you're just describing that just visceral reaction, both in the moment, but then also, months or years later of driving by that same spot. It's so beautiful, and you're right. It is. It's an altar. It's an altar of God's faithfulness in your life, in your story, that moment.
Cool.
Oh, goodness. I get chills thinking about it.
Are you able to loop back to that moment, to that promise, as things progressed and got worse and worse?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you want me to kind of continue on with the story from there? So kind of after the Lord told me that, I just kind of said, all right, well, let's go back to living life, right? No sense in worrying about it. And so that's what I did. I'd have to check in with my doctor every 6 months, do labs. Things were kind of staying where they should stay, right? And the conversation was, hey, if you stay right here, like you're fine, right? Nothing's going on. And so in 2022, probably in the fall of 22, in hindsight, probably started a little before that, when I'm looking back at how I was feeling and how I was reacting to things. But in the fall of 22, I started getting like gout flare-ups. I couldn't sleep. And gout's terrible. Have you ever had gout?
I haven't, but I had a pastor once upon a time that had gout, and it was debilitating.
Yeah, it's tough. It didn't know what was causing that, in my mind, even with that diagnosis, I'm like, I'm going to be fine. And so in that fall of 22, I was kind of struggling with some of that, couldn't sleep. And I got into this point where I was kind of vomiting at random times. Pretty crazy stuff. And my wife said, you need to go get some labs done. Like, go see your doctor, get some labs done. And so I did. And they called me on a Saturday. So if they're calling you on a Saturday,
Yep.
it's probably not that it's the ideal scenario in their mind, right? You're shaking your head, Brad. Did you?
Been there, done that.
Okay, yeah.
Them after-hours phone calls are no fun.
Yes. So
sobering.
Yes. So they called me on a Saturday, and I was actually laying on the couch, hadn't slept all night. My legs are swollen from the gout, and whatnot. And they're like, "Hey, your creatinine, which was at around 1.4, is now 16, and your potassium, which I didn't really know anything about this number. Creatinine is a number that they look at your kidney function, okay? Potassium is just something you have in your body, like magnesium and that sort of thing. But there's a range where you want it to be. Mine was at about a 7, and your heart can stop when it gets about 5.
Oh,
right?
Whoa.
So I didn't know this number, but my wife's a nurse, and she knew this stuff. And so she was like, hey, we got to take you to the ER. And that's what they were calling to tell me anyway. You need to get in and go get seen to. And sure enough, so we go to the St. Francis ER, and probably 6 hours later, they told me, like, you're in end-stage renal failure. And, anytime you hear end stage, now I know that there's, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're dying right now. But anytime you kind of hear that phrase, it can kind of take you there.
Oh my goodness!
And so my mind's just kind of racing. I don't know what's going on, and I'm so out of it, and it kind of affects your, when you have that many, when your body's not filtering the impurities out, sometimes you're not thinking clearly.
It does mess with your brain.
Yes, it does. So. So we kind of get that diagnosis, and I end up spending a couple of weeks in the hospital, and which seemed like forever at the time. Goodness. And so a couple of weeks in there, and they tell me, we got to put you in a dialysis port while you're here. We're going to go ahead and start you on dialysis, which, I didn't know what that was going to be like for me. And the first time they hooked me up in the hospital, I was next to another guy who was getting hooked up for the first time. He was going first, I was going second, and he coded right there. Like,
wow,
and he's like the same age as me, the whole thing.
Oh, my goodness.
And so the call goes out throughout the hospital. my wife's coworkers heard it and they were like, "Oh no, I hope that's not Mike." You
goodness.
know, and but I was fine. Went through it, and thankfully this guy was fine as well. But man, it was just a shock, you know, and so they got me a regular dialysis appointment, and I started to go do that. Right, so you're taking it 3 days a week for about 4 hours at a time. So it's not ideal if you're having to work and support a family, and it's not many opportunities out there that allow you to do that. Right. So, but thankfully I was able to do that. So then I switched from doing that to doing it at home. It's called peritoneal dialysis. So hemodialysis is done at the clinic. Take your blood out, clean it, put it back in you. Takes about 4 hours. Right. Peritoneal you do every night at home. Okay. So you're able to get your days back, but you're hooked up every day to that machine. The downside to that one actually pumps fluid into your stomach. There's a dwelling period, and then it pulls it back out. Okay. It's a different method to try to get some of the impurities out of your body.
And this is happening every night?
This is happening every night. So usually I'd hook up by 10 and I'd get off about 6. And man,
while you sleep,
I'd never slept.
In theory.
Okay. Yeah.
There's this thing. There's something called drain pain with this process of peritoneal dialysis. So when it pumps into your stomach, it sits there for a while, and then it has to drain out, right? And when it gets about to the end of that fluid that's in your body, man, it hurts. And so I'd just be sitting there waiting. I know it's about 2.5 hours in, and I just can't sleep because I know that's coming, right?
I see.
And so day after day of kind of doing that, and as we'll kind of go on to talk about, I was not on this near just a fraction of the time that most people are on dialysis. I mean, there's people that do it for 10, 15, 20 years, and it's tough. But in doing that, I was only on dialysis, both of those methods, for about 5 months, 6 months. Most people are on dialysis for 8 to 10 years waiting on a transplant. Okay, so during this time, my wife was really pushing the ball uphill while I'm out of it. I'm just trying to survive, right?
Oh, you're talking about just in day-to-day function and the family? And
she's doing all of that, but she's also trying to get the ball started on getting a transplant for me.
Which is a whole world.
Yes.
That's a different world, man.
It is. And if you don't have somebody advocating for you, a lot of times you just don't end up on the list.
For real?
It takes a while. And so that's what everybody was telling me is like, hey, don't get your hopes up. Like, this is going to take years and years. And, you know, these women in my life are type A. They got a task to get done, and it's going to get done.
But, you know, we should
They're in
pause
second
here.
Hebrews, brother. We ain't messing with them ladies right
And
now.
I would think we should probably pause at this point and say, you know, the hero in the story, I think, is Amber here.
100%.
I mean, my word.
100%. I've
Goodness,
told
all-star, Hall of Fame level stuff here.
I've told our Sunday school class ever since going through this, if you know the Lord and you've got a wife that loves you, like, dude, you've got it made. Like,
Dude.
there's not.
Can we highlight that? I want to put bold, underline, italics.
And
wow.
I want to go home and hug my wife right now.
Right, yes.
Amen, dude.
Well, you can relate to that, I'm sure.
I sure can. I surely can.
You know, you kind of see when the rubber meets the road there, things get ugly, right? And somebody's going to have to carry all the weight at some point. And
when somebody demonstrates to you, quite literally, in sickness and in health,
Bro.
yeah,
it is a very powerful thing.
it is. So during that time, she's handling everything at home, everything with the kids. I'm as present for everything that I can. It still didn't keep me off the baseball field, FYI.
Come on.
Let's get our priorities right here. Let's get our priorities. We're still sending kids at home.
Yes.
All right, on a short fly to left.
My Ron Washington arm was still 100% healthy.
Send them.
Yes.
Send them.
So, man, by the way, just love Little League Baseball, by the way. It's
He's on the front end of this.
This past spring was my very first time being a coach for the
man, that's the best.
the T-ball, the ice creamers of Northern Little League.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm everything you're saying. I'm like, Coach, I'm just 5 or 10 years behind you. You know, just give me a little while to catch up.
Man, it soak it all in, man, because it's my oldest has got one more fall and spring, and after that, I'm not going to be his coach anymore, right? And or one of his coaches, and but I've got a younger one who he just had his first year C-ball, so we may see you at the district tournament at some point.
Okay, all right.
That's it.
So during all this time, she is doing everything, and she's also I don't even think I remembered all this happening, but she is really pursuing. We got to get the ball rolling on trying to get him evaluated for a transplant, and she's getting the word out there about, hey, if you want to be evaluated as a candidate for this, and Richard, you may remember seeing some of that stuff.
I do.
You know, so she's doing all that stuff, and man, I'm super blessed to have a number of people. I don't know the number of people who volunteered to be evaluated to see if they're a candidate, but it's more than I could ever have expected, and I'm sure I won't find out everybody who did it. But the guy who got to the finish line first and being evaluated was my father-in-law. And so
Oh my goodness.
this is a guy who, and this is because he was pushing it forward, right? He was like, hey, we're going to be on the beach in a short few months, and I'm going to have you out there. Was kind of something we talked about. He passed out giving blood one time. He likes to tell that story. And I'm like, man, this guy's looking to try to give me an organ, right? And which is incredible. And his stance on it the whole time had been, he's just the most humble guy in the world. And he said, man, you guys do the same thing for me. And so I got the call in February of 23 that, hey, we've got a date set for you. And Bill actually called me that day, and he was I could tell he was smiling on the phone. He was like, hey, have you heard from your coordinator today? That's the person who you're kind of setting all this up with. And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, all right, well, I think we got a date. We're going to get this done. And he's
What
like,
was that like to hear that?
I was actually in my friend's driveway at the time. I can't remember what I was picking up, something from their house. And, man, I just cried right there with him and his wife.
Yep.
And I think she was filming me in the car as I'm, like, crying because she knew what was happening. These are some of our best friends.
Gotcha.
And, and that was just a cool moment. And so we got set up for March the 14th. And so Bill was not – the way this thing works out is they told Bill, you're not a match for Mike, but there's a program called a paired exchange where – so they like to keep you within about 15 years of each other for matching purposes, right? And so Bill's a little bit past that for me. And they said, hey, you're not a great match for Mike, but there's a program called a paired exchange. If you're interested – you can give to somebody on Mike's behalf, and Mike will receive the perfect match back for himself from somebody else who's kind of in a similar scenario, somebody that's looking to give for a family member or something like that.
I didn't even know that sort of thing existed.
I don't think I did either until that point. And so Bill's reaction was, I don't care where mine goes. If Mike gets one, then I'm all for it, right? And so we got set up for that. My kidney actually come down from New Jersey. So
There you go.
I call myself Jersey Mike now.
Wait. We got to sit with that for a second.
We get it Mike's
Ladies
way.
and gentlemen. That's
Jersey
so good.
Mike. Oh.
Now I'm hungry for a sub.
Dog.
Man, I'm
From your
telling you.
mouth to God's ears, I was like, I might pick up a sub on the way home.
All right. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good,
Continue.
you're good.
That's too good.
And so my kidney come from New Jersey. Bill's went to a lady in Atlanta. We actually got to meet her. which is really cool. I don't believe she's. I know she's not a believer, and so we've prayed since then that the bit of Holy Spirit that was in Bill's kidney latches on here. And the bit of the temple that left his body went into hers. We're praying for that, and Bill's kept in touch with that family since then, and it's been really cool. And but on March 14th, got my transplant, and I woke up from surgery, and they were like, "Hey, everything went great," and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." I was in a lot of pain. But the hope that you're experiencing at that moment far outweighs the pain.
Correct.
Right? So I was in great shape as far as I was concerned. And Bill got discharged the next day. So believe it or not, you can give a kidney, and they will have you out of there in about 30 hours.
Stop it.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That is.
Whoa. And they treat something really cool about this that I've learned in this process. And I'm getting way up on the pedestal of talking about organ donation here.
All right, bring it on.
They treat these donors like kings and queens, man. And they are.
Rightly so.
They are. And, but Bill was out of there in about 30 hours, which is really cool. And then shortly after that, one of the doctors come in. They're taking labs from you all the time. They're really hypersensitive to see, all right, how's this thing taking?
Yeah.
How's the functionality?
Reacting.
All this stuff. And so at some point in probably 48 hours after getting the transplant, they're like, hey, you've stalled out. Like your creatinine's dropped from a 16 down to an 8, which is a huge change, but we want to see it get down much lower than that. And so they were worried that something wasn't connected properly. My body didn't like one of the medications that they had given me. Something, but they really didn't know. So they sent me back in for surgery again, cut me back open, all that stuff, which was not fun. But they're trying to do right by this gift, right, that somebody has given you. Yeah. Is the whole gist of it. And so they go back in and say, hey, we don't really know yet, but it looks a little funny. And then they just threw everything but the kitchen sink at it to treat it until they figured out what it was. And ultimately, it was that my body had reacted toward one of the anti-rejection medications. And I can't remember the name of this kind of process that it brings on, but they can treat it with an infusion. And so I had to take these infusions for probably 3, 4, 5 months post-transplant. To finally get that number down to where they were happy with it. It is something that it can be fatal to you. So it can be hard on all of that. Reaction that I had can be fatal to all of your organs. So in that moment, in those times, there was a lot of that anxiety crept back in again. Right. Of and this is kind of where I would say the sermon on the side comes in is, I had thought about in that moment there, I had wondered, all right, did I go into this too quickly? Should I have just stayed on dialysis? I knew what I had there versus what I'm getting into now.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think about the Israelites coming out of Egypt, right? Where God's delivered them from something, but they were more comfortable with the slavery that they knew, as opposed to relying on the Lord.
Yeah.
And during that time, Amber and I have talked about it endlessly. And she said before, I wouldn't want to go through that again. She said, but there was such a peace that I had during that time. She was like, I kind of long for it. Right? It's like,
wow.
She's like, I don't want you to have to do that again. But there was something, the Lord was doing something special at that time with the reliance on Him and
the desperation.
And I think that's what the Lord was showing us through that, is that, I don't know if He thought, hey, he's gonna move on pretty quickly to being self-dependent again here. Let me give him a little reminder, as to, hey, stay locked in, dependent. You may be upright on your feet today, right? But it still doesn't really change your outlook of how you should be dependent on him. And so there were some ups and downs in that, I would say, first year of coming out of transplant. I had to have another biopsy. Bill actually took me to one of them. Bill keeps coming through in the clutch every time. I told him, I said, man, you've given me your daughter, trained me in business, and given me an organ, essentially. I said, I can't cut enough grass to pay you back.
Hey, Christmas morning, he walks in, you're welcome. He doesn't have to give you anything.
Exactly.
No birthday presents.
Nothing.
Empty box with a picture of a kidney.
Yes.
Just a little reminder there.
Yes.
Dog.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But there were some ups and downs during that year, and you're always watching it. Brad, I don't know if you feel kind of this way about what you went through in your own life, but you're always kind of cognizant of like, all right, I got to keep a check on this, right? And then there's always this little thing in the back of your mind where you're like, all right, there's really nothing I can do here, right? But I'm gonna continue to do everything that I can to put myself in the best position and relying on him, right?
Well, I bet much like you, I'm still in that every 6 months surveillance where you go do the labs and you do the follow-ups, and every now and then, once you that time period between the blood's come out of your body and you're waiting to hear back from it, that's the part where it's like, oh man, that kind of anxiety starts creeping in a little bit more. But I think you said it best earlier on in this episode. You said it's an opportunity. I think you used the word opportunity. Those moments I have found are just opportunities for me to trust the Lord even more, to tap back in to that desperation that, Lord, I fully trust you. I have more questions than answers right now. This is clearly not the way that I would want this to go. I didn't think cancer by 33 was the way that I wanted to have it, but I trust you with my story more than I trust myself. And there was a scripture that we really leaned into during that season, Isaiah 42:16. It says, "I will lead the blind in a way that they do not know. I will turn the rough patches before them into smooth ground. These are the things that I will do, declares the Lord."
Wow.
And I'm just hearing your story, man, hearing this part of your story. It is so powerful, and it's so beautiful, and it's such an encouragement to me and to all of us who are listening to say, hey, it doesn't matter our circumstances. The Lord is calling us, to trust him, but to run after him in that desperation, with that trust, with that surrender. Because, man, when we allow the Holy Spirit to rush in like you did on that run, there's all of a sudden a bunch of little altars that start popping up. Yeah. All of these little God moments of faithfulness. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a really, really cool thing.
Well, and at one point so my pastor, who I had that text message to, that's what got me in the door, was that text message I sent him. He was doing a great job. He was like, hey, I want you to kind of tell your story to the church. And so one Easter Sunday, so I think it was probably Easter of 24.
Okay, hey. So we're not talking about a Sunday night or a Wednesday night?
This ain't the throwaway Sunday. Coach got him on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. It was awesome.
On.
So Bill and I kind of pre-filmed a video that would be shown there, and man, it was. I had so many people come up to me afterwards and say, "Hey, I've got a brother, or I've got an aunt, or my mom, or somebody like that that's going through this, and I'm going to send them your video." And it's been such a blessing to see where the Lord's brought you. And I told somebody, I said, I would just about volunteer at that point. If you'd have told me I would have gotten to be here talking with you guys about this, to have those moments, I would have almost volunteered to do it, right? And you can't see, because you're looking in hindsight at, oh, Lord, that's how you were going to use this. It's one of those full circle moments, right? Sure. And you just can't see the forest for the trees at the moment. When you're down and out, you know the right thing is the Lord's going to use this. The Lord's going to use this. But it's hard to really grab a hold of that and live it in that moment. And the Lord allowed me to kind of see that and say, look, this is what I wanted to use this for, was to bless other people. And that's, we went through, you kind of mentioned this and it reminded me of it, but when we were going through our covenant series in Sunday school recently, in Genesis 15, I think it's 15:1, when the Lord's, I love that it says, cutting a covenant with Abraham. And we went through how the Lord walked through the pieces and didn't require Abram to walk through because he was going to fulfill the covenant. Right? That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. I just love that part.
Gotta love that.
But where was I going with this? So Genesis 15:1, where he tells Abram had just had to go rescue Lot. You know, you had the battle of the kings and all that, and I'm sure he was pretty unnerved at the time. And the Lord came to him and said, I'm your shield and your exceedingly great reward, right? And I think that's the King James Version, but I think that's, when we went through that in Sunday school recently, that really stood out to me because I felt like that was kind of the whole nutshell of what I had gone through, is that the Lord said, look, I did protect you. I'm going to protect you. I have your best interest. I threw out all those thoughts that you had in your mind to tell you what you really needed to hear, right? And your reward is not your health. It's not whatever you're able to achieve in this life. It's the relationship with Him, right? That's your exceedingly great reward. And and so that kind of spoke to me. Going through that, a lot of times we joke about this in Sunday school. You never put together a lesson in Sunday school, or I'm sure you guys preaching would be, you never put together a lesson for somebody else to hear. It's
That's
like,
right. That's right.
So-and-so needs to hear this. It's normally like, I need to hear this.
This is on me right now.
Indeed.
It spoke directly to what I felt like. It's amazing how that can be applicable today. Scripture is alive and active.
Amen.
That really spoke to me, and I thought it spoke to the kind of what we had gone through, and I'm sure you can relate to that as well. But yeah.
Oh, brother, you have taken us on a journey, man. This has been so good, and so I suppose we're 3+ years since.
Yeah, so I got it in. It's been 3 years now. The 3 best years of my life. That's the other part.
For real.
I literally felt like I don't know how many days. None of us know how many days we have, but my best days have been since that, right? And I've got to experience so much life, do so many things that even as a young adult or kid, I never thought I'd get to do some of the things I've gotten to do, just simple things. I got to take my son to the All-Star game in Atlanta on his birthday, which when you think you don't have time with him and you get to do something like that, you're like, dude, this is the best day of my life.
I know. Or I don't know. Just having my 3-year-old connect with a baseball on a t-ball game, that's when you're like, that was the best day of my life.
Yes.
But that's beautiful, man. Oh, that's amazing. Brad, is this wild?
I am. Listen, if nobody else listens to this episode, I'm listening to it. And Mike, I'm so grateful for you, for your wife, for your father-in-law, for your story, for your faithfulness, and for your willingness to share with our listeners. And so, I'm immensely grateful, and I want to press into that Genesis 15, where the Lord is our shield and exceedingly our great reward. It's a beautiful passage, and it's a beautiful way to describe your journey.
Oh, indeed, man. This has been so good. And for our Sermons on the Side listeners, for us to be able to be a part of what you described, which is God speaking to people through your story. It's such a gift. So thank you for being generous with your time and your story.
Absolutely.
Man.
Thank
Good
y'all
stuff.
for having me, man. This has been awesome.
Good stuff. Now, you may or may not be aware, depending on how many interview episodes you might have listened to, but we have something special for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This is what we call No Huddle, and it is rapid-fire questions that we ask you, and you don't have time to think about them.
Oh, no.
That's why it's no huddle. We're just running plays here, man. you just got to call it and go for it. Are you ready to do this?
This feels like Family Feud a little bit.
Oh, it does. You want to hit the
We want
buzzer?
a buzzer? He got his hand out ready for this. It's awesome.
All right, Mike Gunter. What is the worst job you ever had?
Video warehouse.
As soon as I said that, I said, I want to go back to the video warehouse, baby. Oh my goodness, man! Were they all VHS or were they at DVD when you were working there? I'm trying to.
They were DVDs.
Yeah.
For sure. I think there were, some Andy Griffith tapes probably back in the bag.
I Love Lucy. Yeah,
I
come
Love
on.
Lucy, but it was all DVDs. A few video games, probably PlayStation 2 era.
Oh, come on!
wow.
That's just golden.
But
Golden.
all DVDs. So I don't even know. Yeah, my kids know what DVDs are.
I didn't know if you had to do the rewinding of the old VHS. Do y'all remember that?
I do, yeah.
From
Yep.
you get they'd ping you if you didn't rewind it before.
Oh,
you
that's
found
right.
out.
That's
a
right.
good 50 cents or something. All right. So thank you for answering that question. Now, this second question is a Bible character question.
Okay.
And the only rule for your answer is you actually can't say Jesus. So
Okay.
we like to say it's the only situation in your life where Jesus is not the answer. Is there? That feels wrong. Every time I say that, I feel.
great.
All right. So, is there a Bible character that just resonates with you, that you connect with more than the others?
Jacob.
Right. Okay, and so what? Any particular part of Jacob's journey?
Oh man, I just love his story.
Come on.
In general, not the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Maybe the deceitful aspect, but I love his story of going out, working for Laban, working again for Laban. All those things, and how the Lord kept his promises just like he said he would throughout all of the bad things that we do, and I think is so applicable to all of us. His plan never fails despite our own shortcomings. So,
Well said. Well said. All right, Mike. The world needs to know: cat person or dog person?
dog,
Boom.
100%.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And so, how many? Do you speak for yourself or all your family members, everybody in your house? Are there some that would they like cats too?
So we're huge dog people. We've fostered dogs for paws, things of that nature.
Yeah.
My in-laws have done that. There's one of my wife's sisters. Their family has just recently picked up, I think it's 2 or 3 cats.
I'm sorry to
So
hear
they're
that.
on a heater right now. I don't know what that's about.
When are they going to come back to church?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
they're not following God right now.
I do. Look, I do. One of the weird things about having a transplant is you can't be around a litter box.
Ooh.
And
What?
so I pull that card out. I'll pull that card out in a minute.
Hold on. Of everything in our world, if you have an organ transplant, you can't be around a litter box?
Yeah, it's a weird.
What? Is that real?
That's a real thing. Yeah.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Now,
I don't know
Another
why that
reason why I
strikes
can't
me
have
as
one.
So strange.
I do not hate cats. I don't really see where that comes from people, but I love dogs.
okay.
Yeah.
Got to. All right. Well, next question. What's playing on repeat in your house or on your phone?
Oh, two things probably. One, because I like it, and that's The Office.
Oh, how can well,
The other would be, unfortunately, the 2025 Ryder Cup.
oh,
I love golf.
yeah.
My son and I went to watch that, and we got shellacked by the Europeans. And me and a few of my buddies just got tickets to the 2027 Ryder Cup.
Where's that going
That's
to be
in
held?
Ireland.
Have they already made a determination on tickets?
Yes.
I
Well,
bet.
so I think July 20th, the ballots will end. I had to buy the week pass to guarantee my ticket.
Oh, dang. Well, I'm in the pool for selection.
Are you really?
I hope. I hope I get selected.
You can still put in if you haven't.
No, I'm in.
Okay.
But we haven't.
I think it's
me and
July
my buddy-
20th.
Me and my buddy haven't found out if we've been selected.
Okay.
yet.
There's hope.
So we'll fly across the pond together.
Yeah,
Mike,
come
me and
on.
you. Come on down.
So that has been like, I'm so pumped up about going over there. Now that's
You're
over a
rewatching.
year away.
Okay.
And I'm just rekindling the frustration
rewatching. Oh,
from
that's good.
losing to the Europeans. But
Any love for the World Cup right now? Just a couple of nation themed,
come on.
sporting events. USA.
I will watch some of the USA soccer
Yeah.
if I'm not watching golf or baseball.
But
So
golf
we
and
gotta have
baseball
a
are just.
I'm watching golf, baseball, of course, when college football is on. College football is the king.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I will watch it. I love the passion that comes from the World Cup. For sure.
It is nothing like it.
We're recording this before our round of 32 game against Bosnia.
Yeah.
And so I really hope that we
Come
win that
on.
game.
I
Yes.
do love too a lot of the good publicity that America has been getting from
These folks
a
are
lot
all
of
the
people.
other countries.
Just simple things like everybody loves ranch.
I saw an interview with this Russian kid, and he was like, "What's your favorite thing?" Or it was German. And he was like, "What's your favorite thing? Or what are you taking back to Germany with you?" And he said, "Ranch." Yeah, you are.
I
you are.
believe TSA put out a statement.
Oh, dear.
saying that they will confiscate ranch if you bring it back.
No, come on, TSA.
Yeah.
Come on, don't. They're
A
harshing
gift
the vibe
to the world.
right, indeed. Okay, well, Mike, listen. Last question. This has to do with your kids. Now, we actually got a little. We've not met your kids,
Yeah.
but you sent us a video of your son, your oldest child, and it was after you had told him that you were going to be a guest on Sermons on the Side. And he did this little impersonation of how he thought you should introduce yourself to the podcast. Can we listen to
Oh,
that
yeah,
real
let's
quick?
listen to it real
All
quick.
right.
My name's Mike Gunter, and I have 3 kittens. Here's Sermons on the Side. Some good water.
Boom. Boom.
So
How about
good.
that? How
He's
about
a
that
funny
little-
kid, man.
That taking a swig of the bottle of water at the end. Mike Gunter got 3 kids. Anyway, good stuff there. All right, so, but the final question is about your kids. If you could imagine at some point in the future that your children are being interviewed by somebody and that interviewer asks them, tell us about your dad, what would be one thing you'd hope they'd say?
Oh man. I would say he loved us and he loved Jesus. That's really all I want him to take away from me. And as a dad, I feel like I fall short on everything all the time, right? But I hope that that they know that Dad loved Jesus, he loved us, and did everything he could for us, and you know, that's
good.
probably multiple things.
No, but that's beautiful,
Love
brother.
us, love Jesus.
Beautiful
man. So
stuff,
good.
man. Thank you, brother.
Wow.
Look, this has been such a treat.
I mean,
Man,
truly.
What do you say?
I
mean, my
you don't say
goodness.
anything. First, well, we do say something. We say thank you. And
Thank you, guys.
And folks, if this has impacted you, A, we want to know about it. But B, hey, what if you just paused right now and did 2 things? Number 1, text your pastor. You like that circle back? You like that circle back?
See, that's why he's so good.
But the second
Golly.
thing is, hey, send this episode to somebody that you know needs some encouragement. Maybe they're walking through a health journey, or maybe they're just in a season where they need to be reminded to be placed into that desperation, that trust, right? To be reminded that God is our shield, and He is also our great reward. So, man, Mike, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And folks, I hope you have your AC turned on high or low. What is it? I'm not sure. But if you have any AC issues, call Energy Savers of Columbus.
That's
and
right.
we will see you again next week on another episode of
Sermons on the Side.
Yes. That was outstanding.
Hey,
Bro,
can
this
I-
was too much fun.
I don't know if this is an option, but I just
Yeah,
thought about
come
it.
on.
Could we, if there's anybody that listens to it and they want to reach out
About organ donation?
about to me, if I mean more so if like they're going through it,
Yeah.
or if they got somebody they know is going through it and they just want some encouragement,
Yes.
right? I don't know if we can put my email.
We can.
I don't know. Whatever y'all think.
What is the best way for them to contact you?
I just put my email
Okay.
out there. Will be fine.
Absolutely can. We'll let this be B-roll. Everybody,
Yes.
y'all hear that?
Come on, y'all.
So we'll have Mike's email in the show notes.
Yeah.
Reach out to him. Connect with him.
Because
There you
that
go.
kind of stuff is helpful, right? When you're
Yeah.
going through it, to be able to talk to someone
Invaluable.
it's
Yeah.
gotta be
Invaluable.
huge.
Somebody that's
100%.
walked it, somebody that's done it, somebody that can tell you, hey, look out for this. Make sure you do that. Invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
Yeah, we'll make it done.
Love it. Bro, thank
Thanks,
you.
y'all.
This is so fun. What in the world?
That was awesome.